to another edition of Marvel Talk. I know you're sick of us, but it's day 7 of 9, so give us a couple more days. I promise it'll be okay. I am Olet Ed Fries, and I'm joined by my tag team partner, Andre Thor Chi. Now, you see, you missed the opportunity here. You have Thor Chi, and it should have been Andre Thor C. It's late here on the East Coast, I apologize.
I'm so tired.
Thank you for joining us for all these episodes. If you haven't, please go ahead and look on the YouTube channel where you're seeing this to go ahead and find some of the others. As we have episodes for What If Nebula joined the Nova Corps? What if Peter Quill attacked Earth's mightiest heroes? What if Happy Hogan saved Christmas? What if Iron Man crashed into the Grand Master? What if Captain Carter fought the Hydra Stomper? And of course, the episode released last night that we just recorded a little while ago. What if Kahori reshaped the world? But of course, we are here to talk about episode 7. And episode 7 is What If Hela Found the 10 Rings? Andre, tell us about what would happen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe if Hela was retold in the terms of Thor.
They did Thor. They did Thor with elements of Shang-Chi run in. All
right,
okay.
I'm going to let Andre...
No. I'll admit, we praised the Hydra Stomper episode. It was literally Winter Soldier. It was a Winter Soldier storyline. But they took the Red Room. They took that and made it different using the Red Room, using that stuff. I guess, yeah, you're right. No, it's exactly the same. I can't hate on this episode because it's exactly the same. They just mashed Black Widow and Winter Soldier together, and all they did was mash Thor and Shang-Chi together. So if I was happy about that, what I'm happy with is maybe because I just didn't give two shits about the character of Hela. She was done dirty and, while good in her movie, I don't give a crap about the character anymore because she was killed off, so why do I need to care about the character again? And two, this one felt uninspired. It just felt exactly like Thor, unlike Winter Soldier, or unlike Hydra Stomper, didn't feel exactly like Winter Soldier. This felt exactly like Thor with elements of Shang-Chi it brought in until the final battle. I don't know why I feel this way, but I do.
You're allowed to feel the way you feel, and that's okay. I thoroughly enjoy it. For the exact same reasons why Andre doesn't like this episode, I thoroughly love it. I think Hela was a fantastic character who was done incredibly well. And again, Marvel did what Marvel does, which is take fantastic, well thought out villains who could have multiple runs at really interesting things and kills them off without really a second thought as to what else they could do. We've seen it with the Ironmonger in the first Iron Man movie. We've seen it with Red Skull. We've seen it with Loki. We haven't seen it with Loki. Loki's the one exception. Killmonger, we've seen it, and now we've seen it with Hela, and there's been a couple others. But Loki and He Who Remains / Kang the Conqueror are two that we haven't seen it with, and Kang the Conqueror is going to, unfortunately, be entirely changed based on recent events, which we'll get to in another episode of Marvel Talk.
Yeah.
But because of the fact that I enjoyed Hela so much in her own thing, I was thoroughly excited to see what they were going to take. Because the episode is interestingly paired, whereas what if Hela found the 10 rings? But she doesn't find the 10 rings. She finds Wenwu.
No. She does find the 10 rings because that's what his organization is called. They are the 10 rings. So she did find the 10 rings.
See,
technically.
That's good. Marvel did a good job there with the double twist. I didn't even notice that. I took it as, what if she physically found the 10 rings? Like, what if Hela had the power and used the 10 rings, which is not what this episode was.
I think just coming off of the Kaori episode, I think this followed the exact... Again, it filled in the same pattern. And I think part of it is it was too short.
It was way too short.
Had this been extended, I probably could have got into it more. it was so fast. Things happened so quickly. They brushed over so much that I'm like, I was just, I don't know. I would have liked to see, like, I would have liked an hour and a half for this one. So I would have loved to see Thor and Hela, the first 10, 15 minutes, just of them wrecking worlds and their bond growing for the first like 10, 15 minutes. And then you have him banish her, Thor style. And then you have her find get in, like, find Wenwu, and then go to the dragon world, whatever the heck the mom's world
Tallow.
is called.
Tallow.
Tallow. Okay, I'm sorry, I apologize. I love that movie, but I can never remember half the names from that stuff.
Okay.
But if you would have given like more time for a lot of that stuff, I think this would have been a far better episode. It wasn't bad. It's still better than the Nebula episode, and that's still at the bottom for me. Uh, I like the action stuff and things like that. I think I like the episode before this better. At least we got like the DBZ style stuff in there. Where this was just it really felt like, outside of the ending, the last couple of minutes, the last few minutes, it was Thor with Shang-Chi elements. And again, I well I don't dislike that movie. It's in the bottom half of the movie list for me personally. And when I watched Thor Ragnarok, my least favorite parts of the movie are the Hela parts.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why I think that this retelling of Thor falls so far for you, and I'm going to take a wild guess at this. The best parts of Thor are the parts that just had to skip.
Yeah.
So the banishment scene and Thor becoming worthy are some of the least important parts of the Thor movie.
Mm-hmm.
They're the least fun parts of the Thor movie. Seeing Thor try to live on Midgard is probably one of the best parts of the Thor character as a whole. And the unfortunate part is with this being 30 minutes, and for the first time this season, the 30-minute timeline really felt like it hurt the episode for me. I haven't felt this season like I needed a whole lot more than what I got from anything. None of these episodes feel like they needed 45 minutes. I can enjoy. I can enjoy.
Did.
Kaori did. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, Kaori. But I think that's because it was an origin story.
Yes, very much so.
I think solely for the fact that I think the Kaori story being told in half an hour was fine. Had we already spent a half an hour doing her origin story, or had we already had developed that, the original character portion made that tough. But I don't think the episode and the things that happened in the episode needed more time. No. I just think it was the introduction of a brand new character needs more than half an hour. And I think that's where that fell apart. Where this fell apart is that the training scene in Shang-Chi and the portions of the Thor sub we got in this are the least good parts of both of those movies.
Well, no, like, yeah, well, no, like some of the Shang-Chi training stuff is really fun, but it's not because of Shang-Chi's stuff. It's a lot more of like Awkwafina, her character in that movie, like her, like big part of those training scenes are her learning a lot of the stuff and having it going back and forth with Shang-Chi learning to master these things so well, and her just like struggling, and Katie struggling. I think that was it really helped build those scenes where this was her just, she's bad at first, she gets attacked by towels, and then bam, she's super at this. It left a lot to be desired there. It didn't have it didn't have heart. Like her and Shang-Chi's mom, I can't remember her name now, but they didn't gel that same way for me. Like it didn't feel like a connection. And then when she went back to the battlefield to help Wenwu, I found it very, like, they were like, because they were literally on opposing sides, but she ran away from and escaped from him because he imprisoned her when she was mortal. And all of a sudden she's like, I'm back, let's do this, I'm teaming up with you. And they were like, let's do this, we're buddies. And I'm like, what? And I don't know. Like enemy of enemy is my friend, but it still felt so just shoved in and rushed to me.
A little bit, yeah. I wholeheartedly agree.
The battle was absolutely tremendous, don't get me wrong, and the visuals of her mastering her powers was really cool. It just everything felt so rushed and so like underwhelming.
So to go back and tell a little bit of what happened in this episode, in the very beginning of this episode, we see basically a bit of a version of what happened in Thor Ragnarok, where we find out about Hela, and we find out that her and Odin were going ahead and claiming the Nine Realms as their own. They were doing it in bloody battles. In this universe, Hela chooses that that's not the way to do this. And she wants to tone things down and be more calm and be the Odin, what the change that Odin eventually has. And in this world, Odin wants nothing to do with it. And again, just like he does with Thor, he takes the weapon away from her, and he goes ahead and banishes her to Midgard.
No. She wanted to keep fighting for more than just the Nine Realms, and that's why Odin banished her. It's at the end.
In the movie, not in this. This Odin's the one who wants to continue battling, and she's the one who wants to be at peace.
Yes. It's her.
That's why she. No, because he says that. Oh yeah, you're right. No, you're right. Because he says that she needs to understand. No one can lead death without understanding mercy.
Yeah. So again, it's still the same thing, but it's just they do the Thor banishment instead of sending her to hell. They're trapping her in hell. It's the Thor banishment, is what it is.
Which is great. I love it because you then see Wenwu trying to finding the helmet and almost attempting to pick it up and then realizing he can't, leaving it alone.
And him, because like in Ragnarok, he took Mjolnir from her and eventually gave it to Thor. Where this time he does the Hela and explodes it, which was actually pretty goddamn cool. That was pretty cool. I will admit, getting to see him do the hammer break.
We then see Hela caught by Wenwu in the 10 Rings, imprisoning Hela inside the 10 Rings. And Wenwu, who is played by not Tony Jaa in this movie, it's sad. Which is the fact that Cate Blanchett was really the only person to come back and do their own voice in this.
Oh, Idris Elba. Idris Elba was back this time, though.
Yes, Idris Elba did it too, which is fine. But, it hurt that it was just the two of them. The fact that none of the Shang-Chi cast were brought back, with the fact that Shang-Chi 2 is already in pre-production, is kind of sad. It was a little bit unfortunate. However, Wenwu has a little bit of a thing for Hela. You can tell him this.
Oh yeah.
He wants to break in that stallion, as they would have called it in the old days. He wants to kind of tame her and love her. It seems like he wants to love her. And she wants no part of it because obviously she doesn't. She's still angry. She's still hurt. She ends up finding Morris or a version or another animal like Morris.
I believe it's Morris. It's got to be Morris.
I believe it's Morris too, but we don't know for certain.
Yeah.
And he goes ahead and leads her to what she wants. And what she wants is a way out. And so he leads her to the forest that tries to kill her, and she makes a bunch of funny quips about, if I wanted to stay in a forest that wanted to kill me, I would have gone to a different realm. And she goes ahead and gets out of there and gets to Talos. And again, Talos is beautiful as ever. It's fantastic. The animators do an amazing job. Making more jokes about whether or not she's talking to Maurice's front or Maurice's back, which is great. The animal with no head and not sure which one is his ass and which one's his face is always fantastic. They even make the same joke where he's offended by it. He gets irritated that people can't tell what's his front and what's his back, which is hysterical. Absolutely love the fact that he's still irritable about that. And you're right. We get a bit of a slow and quick version of the training here. But there's some key fun Easter egg things that are put in here. Where she talks about why she's here. And one of the reasons is because she was sick of her dad and her dad's new girlfriend, Frigga. So we now have confirmation for the first time from Marvel that Thor is a step brother,
No, half brother.
half brother.
They've
But
all.
that
It's all.
Frigga, but we now know that Frigga is not her mother.
Oh yeah,
Because it was always kind of a question. They never actually answered that before. Because we just knew that we knew that Frigga was there. We just knew that we never knew whether or not Frigga was the mother or whatnot. But it seems that Frigga is the one who helps Odin make the change.
Mm.
We can interpret from the way our universe has gone that our Frigga might be one of the reasons why Odin makes the change to go from a bloodthirsty conqueror to the loving king that we know. By the way, Odin is a terrible person. Like Odin, we are now seeing more and more in the MCU how terrible Odin is, and how lucky we are that Thor is as cool as he is.
He's pretty shit.
Like, it's more understandable now why Loki turned out like Loki. Loki turned out so much more like Odin than anybody ever imagined. But again, beyond that, we get the scene, like Andre said, of her training and them setting up all of the blankets and using the blankets to move the air. We don't get the dance scene with the aunt and Shang-Chi where she's dancing with him to show him the motions. They instead do it with this, where they're trying to figure out Hela's intentions. Because unlike Shang-Chi, where they knew what his intentions were and that his intentions were noble, they used this scene to help draw out her intentions.
Oh, this was Shang-Chi's aunt, not his mom, right?
And Shang-Chi's mother dies before the beginning of Shang-Chi.
Yeah, but in so far where we're at, his mom would be behind the wall at this point, right?
Theoretically, this could have been Shang-Chi's mother. We don't know. But I'm saying the scene that we saw in Shang-Chi, he was trained by his aunt.
Yeah, it's Jai. I think that's the aunt.
Yeah, that's that. No, I think Jai might have been his mother. Well, Andre goes ahead and looks that up. Yeah, this is a scene where they go ahead and they determine her intentions, whether or not that they think that she's worth, training and investing all this time and effort in. And eventually, while she's not ready, again, exactly like Shang-Chi, the training's not finished. The battle's here, and they have to go ahead and take care of it. Because Idris Elba and his infinite wisdom, the wonderful Idris Elba, portraying Heimdall, realizes that he can no longer see Hela as soon as she passes into Tal Lo. So he, of course, tells Odin. He tells Odin, look, she's no longer visible to my eye. She's no longer in the 9 realms. The reason for that is that Tal Lo is in a different realm than Earth. It's on Midgard, but it's technically in a different realm. But we also now get confirmation that whatever Tal Lo is, it's not one of the normal 9 realms of the Asgardian universe. It is in a 10th other universe, like the Nor dimension. It is in a different pocket universe that's other than the 9 realms that Asgard recognizes. Mm-hmm. Which leads Odin to get concerned that if someone could defeat Hela, then what if they came for him? So he goes to take whatever power defeated his daughter, not because he loves his daughter, but because he's worried about what power this is. And him and his army take on Hela and the 10 Rings. And it's so fun to watch Hela using the powers that she's learned and going ahead and watching the 10 Rings be used as a weapon against Odin and his spear. Because for the first time in the entire MCU, we get to see Odin as a warrior. One of the things I've longed to see in the MCU for a long time, which is seeing Odin as a warrior. What did you think of this fight scene? I know you said it was one of your favorite parts.
Yeah, this was one of the coolest parts of the episode for me. Because I think it was really cool. She, like, the way she's using her new her new Shang-Chi powers, and how it works in concert with Wenwu, I thought was really cool. But I was like, why are they teaming up so fast? Again, enemy, it's a friend. I get that, and he understands this is her father who she hates, and that's. But and then the funnest part about this is when she gets knocked down by Thor and she's laying on the ground. She looks up, she kind of looks over, and it's like, ooh, fire swords, because she was telling Zhang who is this is just another character in that place. Because again, this is 10,000 years before Shang-Chi is born, so
it's very
makes sense that makes sense that his mom's not alive yet, or his aunt. So when she's saying to her trainer from the other realm, she's like, "Can I want to use like what if I?" She was talking about floating the leaves. She's like, "What if I float knives or fire or flaming knives?" And she gets flaming knives and she brings it up and just starts whipping using these knives in that sense. It was just like and then when she finally gets the staff and puts Odin down, and he's like, why won't you kill me?" And she chooses not to kill him. She said, and her saying, it's not worth killing you anymore, and like it's not. And quotes what he said back to her from the start of the episode. It's where the helmet pulls the Mjolnir, rises up, flies her, and lands on her head, and we get this version, pure Hela, pure
Hela. White.
Hela the White Walker. Yeah, but again, I thought satisfying ending. I think because the best parts of Thor and Shang-Chi were rushed over, in my opinion. Some of the best part, like the interest of these people, of the characters growing. I think that's where it didn't catch me.
Yeah, I agree. They're the portions of this that fell apart is the best parts of the reason why the cap. And I'm just going to get mad at me because I'm going to backtrack on something I said to him because I asked him a very leading question. But we were talking about this off air. Was that I asked him specifically, how can you get irritated by this being a copy of Thor with a little bit of Shang-Chi thrown in when in episode 1 of season 1 it's a almost beat for beat retelling of Captain America 1, and we both think that's one of the best episodes this show's ever done. Is that original episode that just proves this was a great concept,
and then we both Winter Soldier episode too.
We both praised highly just a few days ago, the Winter Soldier episode. But I asked you a leading question because I said, how can you like those and not like this? The reason why is because the best parts of those episodes are parts of the movie that they're retracing the steps of. All of the great things from Captain America 1 are in that first episode. The scenes that we remember, the things that we want to remember from those episodes are in that first episode. But the Winter Soldier episode.
But then it goes and deviates into the Red Room. I think is a part of why I like it so much more because it deviates into its own version own version where I feel this all it did was go from Thor to Shang-Chi back to Thor and Shang-Chi mixed together at the end. It goes from one movie to another movie and then it smashes two movies together and pretty much just follows it. It doesn't do its own thing.
I agree. I entirely agree. Like I said, I asked you a leading question because I wanted to. Oftentimes, leading questions aren't an opinion as much as they are a question to make people think. And I got you thinking because when you came on air here, you were talking about it and you flustered yourself by the fact that you were speaking so much about it, and you realized that when just you were talking it through, and you're realizing the things that you liked were the things that you liked, and that you kind of have to like. But you don't. That's the great thing about personal opinion and personal choice, is that even if something is almost identical to something else that you really like, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be any good.
And like legitimately, when I go back to rewatch this season, out of every episode, there's only one so far that I'm going to skip, and that was the first one. Everything out there of the episode, I'm going to watch. I'm going to rewatch again, and again, nothing against that episode. It never got me. This one at least got me at the end. It got me when she did the wanting to do knives and stuff point. That was funny. Having Morris show up and certain little things got me throughout. Where I will rewatch this episode and I'll probably find appreciations in different things each time I watch it. But yeah.
And now we're getting ready for the end. We're getting to the end of season 2 of What If. We're hoping there's a season 3. I'd really hope there is. But the big episode, the one I've been waiting for all season, is coming tonight, overnight tonight into tomorrow. I'll be very excited to talk about this hopefully with you, Andre. What if the Avengers assembled in 1602?
Yeah. That's going to be interesting to see what time we're going to record that night. Because I also got to hopefully record my other show, my main show that night. So I'm hoping to record with you because I also got to watch Stardom all day. I got a bunch of Stardom to watch tomorrow with Dream Queendom. So, or today as this episode comes out, we will see who shows up on this show tomorrow.
No, we will both be there. If we have to record at 2 a.m. my time, we will record at 2 a.m. my time.
It's the weekend. It'll be fine.
Exactly. It is a Friday night. I can record at whatever time because I don't need to be up at the ass crack of dawn for work. Andre, where can the good people find you and things that you've got going on this week?
At That Canada Guy on Twitter and other socials. At That Canada on Instagram and Threads and other socials. You can find me always at youtube.com/@Andre and Melball Wrestling Talk. You can also check out our Facebook page, Andre and Melball Wrestling Talk, where you can interact and talk to me there. Also, coming up, December 30th, we should be having an episode come out of our Stardom Dream Queendom review. So please check that out, featuring this strong openweight title between Julia and Megan Bayne, and the World of Stardom vacant World of Stardom title. It is Suzu Suzuki taking on Maika. So that'll be coming on the 30th. Coming out January 1st. I'm super, super duper excited for my interview, mine and Mel's interview with Walker Stewart, the current new voice of the English commentary of New Japan. I'm so excited to sit down and talk with him, talk about his history, because he's very young, got into this business very young. It has risen very quickly in the commentary side of this business. Look forward to talking about his history, talking about what got him into Japanese wrestling, talk about Wrestle Kingdom itself. We're going to preview that. Hopefully, we're going to talk a little bit of Stardom because I can't believe he doesn't watch Stardom because it's a sister company, and so much more coming out of that. That'll be coming out hopefully on January 1st on our channel, Andre Melball Wrestling Talk, and everything I'm talking about here will also be coming out on SNME Radio, and then January 5th. Or 6th, me and Mel will be having our Wrestle Kingdom review come out on our YouTube channel, also on SNME Radio. So please check this out, and we'll be having a best of show coming out probably in the second week of January, called under our Chalk Talk banner. So check that out.
And of course, you can find me at Twitter at EdFries12584. You can find me on the Twitch at twitch.tv/EdFries2002, where you can see all my simulcasts of all my live content with our local establishment, whether it be live episodes of Marvel Talk, where our next live episode of Marvel Talk will indefinitely be the Incredible Hulk Marvel Rebound, as we go ahead, the MC rebound of Incredible Hulk, as Andre sulks. But you know what? If we don't do that, we can't get to Iron Man 2 and the fantastic stuff that comes later.
True.
We got to get through it. You can also catch me every Tuesday night with the wonderful, the natural Ashley Bizarre. We talk all things NXT. As we've got coming up this Tuesday, we've got New Year's Evil. Who will be the champions coming out of New Year's Evil? Will Ilya Dragunov be able to even challenge, to defend his championship against Trick Williams? We will see. But make sure you catch us the rest of the week as we go ahead and put all these episodes on the YouTube channel. If you haven't already, make sure you go back and watch the other YouTube episodes. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. Go ahead and leave us a comment. Tell us what you like about these episodes. Tell us what you don't like about these episodes. Help us improve. Even if you don't like something, let us know so we can stop doing it or try to do less of it as we go ahead and talk about these things. Because you know what? We're still learning, and some of these episodes are getting some good numbers, and I want to find out what people like, what people don't like. About these. Remember, most of our Marvel content will be live on YouTube and Twitch as we release it. So make sure you're constantly checking the YouTube playlist of Marvel Talk to see all the wonderful things that we do, because we always go ahead and review the weekend of. We review all the Marvel movies that come out. We review all the Disney Plus shows week by week now. Mm-hmm. So make sure you go ahead and check out all those wonderful things as we go ahead and try to do our best to bring you the best in Marvel Talk. But I'm Ed Fries. I'm joined by Andre. We will see you next time. Goodbye.